stupid. Can't even get 2 minutes of video without an ad. Disgusting, YouTube. So greedy. Unless YouTube tell me. I'll answer that here in a minute, Angelique. Cool little train. All right, howdy, folks. Welcome back. It's been a while since I've been back, so I told you I would be back. And back to kind of touch base with you guys a little bit here, explain why I've been gone for a minute. Well, got some things going on in my life, some intense spiritual warfare. You know that I have to deal with that in my life, and well, it's really done a number on me, so, and my family, so. I've been missing in action for a few days here, so this last couple weeks has been really hard on me, so forgive me for being gone for a while, and that's going to be the case here for a little while. I'll probably be very random here and there, doing a show here and there when I can, because I'm physically exhausted and just drained, and I have to recover, so. Anyways, I thought I'd take a minute here to just apologize since I've been around a little while, let you guys know that I'm still alive, but we're struggling, trying to make the best of what we got here. Meanwhile, here we are. Take a minute to thank you guys for taking a moment of your time to be a part of this precious family. Okay, if you make it to the end of these shows, you'll see the importance of this family and how precious it is and how precious you are to me. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, here we are, February 13th, 2025. Not much to look at, okay? It's going to be a pretty basic little show tonight. I just wanted to kind of get out there and let you guys know that I'm going through some crazy, crazy stuff. Crazy. I can't even explain it to you guys. It's just, you wouldn't believe it, so. Meanwhile, let's just do our report. Okay, here we are. Our solar flux index is at 173. We're up 7 points from yesterday. Sunspot numbers in the green, 112, but we are up 24 more spots. So it looks like a little bit of increase in our sunspot number. Might be more activity coming here pretty soon. Let's pull this open really quick here. I just want to point out a couple sunspots really quick here. Okay, we have this 3989 with a strong polarity, but there's no opposing polarity. Okay, and then we have a 3990 with the strong polarity and no opposing polarity. Okay, so two weird sunspots that are very strong, but no opposing polarity. So very odd situation going on. And then we have this little region just cropped up, and this new one right here, 3992. Okay, so let's back on out of that. Slide on over, scroll on down and see how fluxed we are. Goes X-ray flux, that is. Okay, you can see pretty calm lately. We have a couple little bumps here and there, but we're so low at the sea floor that any kind of activity barely makes an M flare. So just had one little M flare peeking into tomorrow, and we can go take a peek at that if you want really quick. Back out of this. refresh this so we get every frame, and we'll open up this. Even though you don't want to, we're going to do it anyway. So still more of these little black objects making, activity with the sun. You can see stuff going inward down here towards the bottom here, going inward towards the sun. It's more a difference of perspective. It's approaching the sun from like the backside, so expect to see something hit, a magnetic field barrier around the sun and bounce off and ricochet, come out at another angle here. All right, so the little activity going into tomorrow right there already. So I haven't been doing too well. So, all right. Meanwhile, 3-day geomagnetic forecast tomorrow. They're calling for a G1 geomagnetic forecast on the G1 storm tomorrow. Okay, and if we scroll down here, you can see some yellow going on here in your auroras. If we can pop those open, there we go. So a little bit of intensity right here. Over here earlier today, there was a little red in there. So we've had a little uptick in our geomagnetic enhancement. Okay, and over on the KP side here, you can see our KPs come up to above 4 here, and I expect we'll probably see another stripe coming up here pretty soon that's above 4, maybe even into 5. We'll see. It's showing yellow on that graph or on the auroras, and usually that means a yellow line on this, but hasn't been matching up that way anymore. So anyways, we've seen a little uptick in our KP, which also is more energy being absorbed down to the core. Okay, so not a lot, but still some. Meanwhile, we got a couple of sunspots to watch. That 92 that I pointed out is beta gamma, but still growing. So that's the one that could possibly go delta. Other than that, it's the 3990 that's beta gamma as well and growing. Okay, really quick, here's a look at the visible solar disk on Wednesday. Solar activity today has been at low levels with only minor C flares detected. A new sunspot region forming near the center disk was assigned 3992 and will be monitored. Other regions, including 90 in the southeast quadrant, have been for the most part stable. Okay. The reminder that the minor G1 geomagnetic storm watch is in effect for the next 24 to 48 hours when another coronal hole stream is expected to reach Earth. Okay, let's open up the tracker and do some track-a-lacking since we've been lacking some tracking for a while here. Okay, small little burst. You see it kind of coming our way, but not too bad. Okay. Just kind of side swiping us. So small little uptick and this little burst coming at us here. All right. Looking over here, there's no really uptick in our density, so we don't even need to open up that one here. Let's go ahead and back on out now and come on over to spaceweather.com. Dr. Tony Phillips here. All right, when is the next sunspot the next superstorm? Sorry. Last May, the geomagnetic superstorm lit up most of Earth's surface with beautiful auroras. And when will it happen again? A new paper published in the Research Journal of Space Weather calculates the odds. Using an extreme valuable statistic analysis, researchers concluded that the storm's intensity was 1 in 112.5. Plus or minus 1.5 year event. However, the duration was 1 in 41 year event. Okay, so we're in sparking auroras. So there was an image up here yesterday that I want to go to really quick. So we're going to back up. This is mainly why I'm kind of doing this report too, is to show you what was captured yesterday. The minor geomagnetic storm watch are these PCSs, these polar stratospheric clouds at night, unusual weather. Okay, the moon lighting up these polar stratospheric clouds. Beautiful images captured here, but this one coming up here is a little something special here. And since I can't really... Okay, hopefully you can see this blue stratospheric cloud being illuminated by the moon at night, turning blue, looking like an eye. Well, we've been seeing a lot of things in our clouds, right? And when I see an eye, like a well-defined one, I look for the matching eye. Well, do you think you could see the matching eye? You can see this one. Can you see this one over here? So there's a set of eyes right there with a beak, like a bird type beak right here, and a mouth down below. So it's multiple faces. It can be a bird face, it can be a human face. It's got this blue eye. And we were talking the other day, my son and I were talking about birthstones and blue sapphire. And when we look at this eye, it actually has a cross in the middle of it, like a blue sapphire would. And there's another spiritual event happening in the clouds right here. All right. And then note it's all inside of a bigger eye right here. This is a bigger one right here. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this image, wherever this was captured. A lot of spiritual events going on all around the world, very intense ones. And no, I'm not Brian McKnight, the R&B singer. I'm sorry, not McKnight. Although that's kind of funny. It's ironic. My last name used to be McDonald, but I was adopted into the Knight family. So during that process, some people knew me as McDonald and some people knew me as Knight, and some people called me McKnight. And that was way before the singer was even born. So I'm the original McKnight. How's that? I was here before he was. Okay. All right. Hopefully, hopefully you enjoyed that little story there. D-Rez, it's good to see you, buddy. I miss you, man. All right, so this event going on right here, everybody's looking at this, of course, because it stands out. But when you look over here, there's another matching eye. You look at these two eyes, the rest of the face can correlate. You can make this a droopy nose with a mouth down here, or it can be a bird head. See these feathers coming back here? Let me see if we can scroll down just a tad bit. It's almost like a bird's head coming over with a bird beak right there, or a dove with a blue eye. There's a lot of things going on in this image here. Okay, and that was captured on February 11th. Okay, and today being it just turned 14th now, so a couple of days ago. But awesome image captured in the sky. And when you see these things begin to happen, look up, because there's all kinds of strange stuff going on in your clouds, okay? All right, so we got through that. Now let's, I need to get rid of these. Bear with me here. I'm doing the best I can. I'm in rough shape right now. I've literally in battle, in muddy ditches, digging mud. It's crazy. We're trying to get to, the Schumann here, because the Schumann, I'll never forget watching 20. Yeah. Oh, we're back in victory again, aren't we, D-Rez? All right. So here we go at the Schumann. You can see it's been very intense here. And just off the screen yesterday, or just prior to this event, just off screen a day before here, was another strong event. So we've been on this crazy roller coaster ride of very intense frequencies coming up from the bottom. Okay, there's a lot of pressure growing down below, and the core and the shell are grinding on each other. Now, I just seen some footage of these skyquakes coming out of Alaska just recently, just during these events. So these events are causing skyquakes that are being captured by people up in Alaska. All right, and it sounds like metal grinding on metal type sound, and that's your core and the shell grinding, and then it propagates from the surface of the planet up out into space, but it hits the ionosphere and bounces back down as an echo. So I'm going through a lot right now, and all of this is going on at the same time. Yes, I am a musician, and actually a master in music. I could teach you the code that's in all music. a code that most people don't know about. Anyways, here's your Schumann for right now. Okay, we've had a lot of pressure built up down below and some releases as far as volcanic and earthquake activity. Okay, so let me try to get to that. Well, I play violin, piano, write lyrics, write music. Boy, I could show you a lot, but we're doing these kind of reports for right now. You're lucky I'm here tonight. I almost did not do this, but I was reading some of the comments, and I know you guys are missing me. I hear prayers, so thank you for praying. Yeah, I can freestyle when I'm in better condition. I'm not in very good condition right now. I've been in combat in a muddy trench for 2 weeks. It's not fun, especially when you're paralyzed and you can't move, and every move you try to make is excruciatingly painful. So just bear with me here. I'm trying to get this done. We'll talk music another night, okay? But boy, do I have a gift for you in that department. All right. So as you can see, this huge hellacious storm going on out here in the Pacific. There's another one right in front of it, and then we have this new one that's currently hitting the West Coast right now, causing very complicating my situation tenfold. I already have an impossible situation, and now this weather moving in has just made it 10 times harder on me. So I have my hands full for the next, until this impossible situation gets fixed. All right, that's a little bit better. Sorry, I'm keep bumping my tripod. Okay, so there's your storm activity kind of at the 850 level. All right, and then we're going to go into really quick, take a peek at our polar vortex. Now, now you can see here we have a very oblong, very weird shaped polar vortex, all due to a sub-vortex that's counter-rotating on the other side. It's pushing this way, pushing this big dent. See, this should be nice and round like that. Well, this sub-vortex right here is now pushing into this, causing this weird dent and this new shape of our polar vortex. And when we bring it around here and you see where these two intersect here and then spill out right onto America. Okay, so we're going to get some cold air coming because the polar vortex, we have a bipolar vortex right now, which is really playing havoc on everything, even me. Okay, so that's your cause for a lot of cold air coming out of the polar regions being just shoved right into the midsection of the country, splitting in half going, westwardly outward towards the Pacific, the other half going eastwardly out off into the Atlantic. All right, crazy setup that we have right now. All right, now lowering back down to our 850 level, and then we're going to do our sandstorm report here. Take off the wind. Okay. So as we look at this region, you can see we have very strong, lots of sand, lots of dust, very dense, coming off of Africa, crossing the Atlantic, landing on South America over here. Okay, so a lot of sand, a lot of particulates over in this region still going on. The eyes are still there. It's still there watching over that region. Meanwhile, you can see a little wall of sand building up outside of Yemen and Oman area. A lot of this blowing out into the Indian Ocean and blowing back into India. Okay, it can't make it over the Himalayas, so it just kind of circulates there and gets intense or more dense. Okay, so there's your sandstorm report, and then down here at Australia having their own independent sandstorm. Okay, so Africa not the only continent, or Asia not the only continent here having sandstorms. Asia, Africa, all of them. Okay. There we go. That looks a little better. Okay, now let's get into our SO2 report. Chemicals, please, Lord. Thank you. All right, this is SO2, sulfur dioxide, not carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide. And we do this because, well, we have pressure from down below pushing magma up through perforations in the crust. Well, these perforations are so tiny and so tight and so, these little pathways up through the crust are so small that only gas can make it up through it. So we're seeing SO2 instead of magma. It's basically vaporized magma. So here's your country divided, bleeding out on this side because it's all spongier type crust with more perforations. Meanwhile, the western side, more mountainous and granite, dense. You see your perforations are more volcanic in nature. There you go, country divided. Trying to unite here. Slowly but surely, we will finally pull head out of ass and realize what's been happening this whole time. And then if whoever can handle the truth will come out of the backside much stronger. All right. And all that adjusting just messed things up. So back to our regular report. As you can see, some of these regions here getting intense. I'm going to put the fires on just in case, but I doubt if we're having any right now. Now, before there was fire activity up here in Canada that was being induced by this SO2 emissions. Even the fire down here in Southern California looked to be possibly caused by that. But no fires right now to report, so that's good. We can move on from this, take them off. All right, let's look around the world real quick. Going down through Mexico, you see they have lots of SO2 emissions down there. Okay, so they're experiencing this as well. Go out through Cuba, you see Jamaica. All these islands out here are all volcanic in nature, all spewing SO2. As we come down through South America, you can see that these are all individual sites. This is not a plume that's blowing down the coast. These are all individual sites. We come here to this little kink in South America, which is the fulcrum point on the plate boundary system offshore there. Okay, making a weak spot. Well, there's a weak spot on land right here at the fulcrum point. Looking very calm tonight, not as intense as we usually see. There's your sites, your emission sites going down the side of Chile here, and then your plume in the Pacific, not too big tonight. So lower emissions it looks like right now as far as that part of the world. The Pacific Rim, much like a bicycle rim, has a hub in it, and this would be the hub of the Pacific Rim. So we're here at Hawaii, the hub of the Pacific Rim, where we see pressure being, relieved like a valve, like a relief valve in the middle of the whole Pacific plate. So SO2 emissions still coming out of there, volcanic activity still at Hawaii. Coming over here, let's adjust for their time zone really quick. Okay, so the big bruise on the face of the planet, China here, bleeding out, strong emissions of SO2, creeping all the way up into there, North Korea, South Korea, Japan being a volcanic island system. Okay, you look up here, Kamchatka got a couple of little sites here going. This one, a couple other volcanoes here spewing SO2. Okay, all this region up here. Okay, then we come on down to Taiwan, which is a fulcrum point on the plate boundary system, and they're having less quakes there and more SO2 emissions now. So strong SO2 emissions coming out of there. We come down to Java. It's a relief valve area, very dark emissions through that region, doing a lot of the pressure relieving in that area. We come on down, you see Australia has these emission sites. We also have this little island right here, this long pencil shape slender island right here has two SO2 emission sites around our plate boundary entry system, which relieves a lot of the pressure, keeping quakes and magnitudes down in that region. Okay. Here's Fiji, and then also out here, this little spot right here is our new island, the Home Reef Island, because it was a seamount that grew so tall it penetrated the surface of the water and is now above the water and is now an island and still spewing SO2. Okay, so there's that. We cover Africa. Take a peek at Europe really quick. It's all over the world. And here we are at Iceland. You can see our volcanoes at Iceland. It's you're still having strong SO2 emissions there. England having some. Spain, Italy, all these regions. Here's our out here where our earthquake and our new volcano activity happening here. You can see SO2 emissions out there. Very strong close by here on this island. All right, now I got to do the ocean one. Sea surface temperature anomalies for now. Latest date is the 12th, so yeah, it's still pretty up to date. It's always a day behind. You can see all the heat in that region in the Mediterranean here, right where this volcano is starting to erupt, and or not starting to erupt, but coming to life and starting to wake up there. And you can see why, because there's a lot of pressure in that region. All right, as we roll around, we look at this side of the Atlantic. Not much going on in there, but what concerns me is this area expanding in the Gulf of Mexico, or Gulf of America, I'm sorry. Can't believe I said that. The Gulf of America. All right, now this was one little yellow blob, and then we had a second yellow blob growing here. Now they've connected and even encroaching up into this region, growing further south here. We had a strong magnitude quake in this region here a couple days back. We come over here and look at our Juan de Fuca area and the west coast. Very cold water right now, so we got a lot of cold water inundation. We've had quake activity in this region, reducing pressure, relieving pressure, and allowing for cold water inundation in that area. So a little bit of good news for the Juan de Fuca area as far as pressure being relieved. Same for Southern California, this eye pocket, this little eye-shaped area that's right here we talk about. Very, got cold water in there, so that's good too. A little bit of good news to report as far as the west coast there. As we pull back, this area that had grown up here by Alaska is still there, but it's lessened in intensity. There's still some yellow there, but over the last couple of days, it seems to have lessened. Meanwhile, imagine it hurts to yawn. Meanwhile, we have pressure increasing around the Kamchatka area, encroaching in this area. Okay, come on over here to Taiwan. We have this new vent that's opened on the ocean floor here, and you see this hot water emission site right here. So relieving pressure right here now instead of quake activity at Taiwan. We also had encroachment of pressure coming up the backside of Taiwan, and we were seeing quakes on the plate boundary that runs down Taiwan here. But you can see it's kind of pulling back a little bit. It's not so intense in there. Starting to see intensity growing almost just south of our fulcrum point. The fulcrum point is actually right up in this little bay, and south of it just here. So expect we might see some earthquake activity in that region here probably. Meanwhile, you see heat building up around Java. It's doing its best to relieve pressure, but there's still some heat starting to build in that area. So watch out for earthquake activity through this region. Look out at Australia. Ow. off the coast of Madagascar here, and then this spot growing here off the coast of South Africa. Meanwhile, down below here, you can see this region has lessened, shrunk in size and in pressure and stuff. And that crack, that there was magma running down that crack to the bay, down to this bay, that activity has stopped. And this area has shrunk in size. Meanwhile, this area has grown in size, but less intensity. So you see all this speckling down here. A bunch of new little vents have opened up down in here, reducing pressure in this region, causing this to shrink, but it's now spreading and more speckled down in there. So this was a bigger spot, now more diffused because we have new activity opening up down there. You see what's going on here between Australia and New Zealand. I don't even know what to say about that. Yeah, I'll let you guys be the judge about that. You can just see that it's getting pretty crazy down there. All right. All right, let's go ahead and put on the winds really quick because it's been affecting our weather patterns, these hot and cold water anomalies, okay, causing conveyor belt type structures to form and storms to, cause rotation and hot air accumulates over cold water, cooler air. So hot air rises, cold air rushes in to replace it, causing rotation. And you can see your rotation matching up to your cold and hot water plumes. Okay, this activity has been going on for a while now. Our wild weather is due to our thermal pockets in the ocean more so than our lower jet stream. These two layers, this 850 layer, let me bring this up. Okay, this pattern right here is at the 850 layer. Okay, here's your lower jet stream. Okay, your lower jet stream and the layer are fighting for control of the weather and steering the weather. Now your lower jet stream is reaching down lower enough to start to affect that thermal effect. So now we're having a collision of these two barriers, these two regions of altitude of air colliding with each other, causing our storms to start to come on through the country now. All right. So when we come back to 850, you can see we no longer have that ridge that's taking stuff up and over California. Now it's taking it down. Now it's taking it down into and allowing stuff to cross the country now. And if it's allowing stuff to cross the country, look what's coming. This thing and this thing. All right. Another reason why I'm trying to do a show tonight is because of the weather that's coming up here pretty soon. All right. Where were we? Ocean, yes. Sea surface temperature anomalies. Please, Lord. Take off this. All right. Now let's try to get an earthquake report in here. Now, I am already struggling with this spiritual warfare, and to have the USBS pull this kind of junk is very frustrating for me as well. Now, we come over here. I usually set this up for your viewing pleasure, but note we have a change over here. No longer do we have our topographical that I love because we need to see contour, texture of the land. Now their topographical, USGS topographical, is not topographical. So no more viewing pleasure, but we will do this anyway. So our view has been changed now. We can no longer see ground features. Thanks, USBS. Duly noted. Okay, your lack of cooperation is duly noted. Dumbasses, you should be paying attention to who's... Okay, we're going to start off our regular deep quake region here. Forgive me, I'm very frustrated lately. Okay. Your 4.5 down at 576, your typical deep quake region, deep quake magnitude, causing 5 magnitude at the surface. Usually here at the plate boundary system, we have this little island right here, relieving pressure as far as SO2, but still not enough. We're getting 4.9 at the surface there. So there's your 5.0, your 5 magnitude at the surface, and they're bullshit 4.9. I am so pissed off at this site right now. And they do this on purpose. So we can't zoom in on stuff. That's hiding evidence. Obstruction of justice. USGS. Meanwhile, 5.0 here at the not the surface. This is at 156. Obviously, a volcanic feature being down that low. We can't zoom in anymore to see what it is. Thanks, USBS. Meanwhile, 4.8 at 150. A 5.0 at the surface there. You see, we're starting to see quake activity in this region because of the pressure building up. We saw a coloration in this region. 4.6 at the surface there. Here's Java and Sumatra. Can't tell anymore. Doesn't look the same. 4.8 here. Gosh darn it. Give me that. A 4.8 down at 43. Volcanic feature here in between Sumatra and Java here by the Banda Strait where Krakatoa is here in this region. Yeah, I don't like this map at all. You guys are in big trouble. Big trouble. Focal point area over here, we get a 4.0. Coming up here, 4.3 at 120. Meanwhile, your quake swarm region and everything that's been going on here. In fact, I haven't done a report here in a while, so let's put on 7-day all magnitude for this region. Okay, our new volcanic feature opening up here, or coming to life here. Maybe not. Can we get this USBS? Yeah, some genius came in and went, hey, let's do this to the site. Oh, let's do that to the site. That kind of stuff just aggravates me beyond all. And I'm trying to work on my spiritual stuff at the same time. It's just, as you can see here, 5.2, 4.3, another 5.0. So a lot of 4s, a few 5s scattered in there. A lot of activity over the course of a week right here in this region. Too bad there's no background or coloration for it for you guys, because let's try ocean. There we go. So now with the new look, here's your volcano right here. Okay, and just above it, this little area going through this region, all coming to life here. Yeah, I'm not happy with this map at all. Not happy with these guys at all. Meanwhile, another quake over here out in the Mediterranean here, 4.2 down at 43. That's not a surface quake. That's something growing down here too. Let's see if there's some kind of little seamount growing out here. And that might come in handy for ocean seamounts or whatever, this map. But I like the topographical on the land, because we need to see land features as well. Very disappointed with these guys. If they were in my class, they'd get an F for failure to disclose information. 5.1, 66, right off of Italy right there. Watch out for this region coming to life. Also, we got 5.1 here at the surface. Okay, so we're starting to see a uptick in magnitude going through this region as well. I hate this map. I don't like either one of them. And there's no other ones to choose from. They took away your viewing pleasure, so you could voice your opinion in the comment section as far as what you think of the USGS. Okay. Meanwhile, we also have, we got to take off all the magnitudes now. Let's go one day out magnitude. There we go. All right, we also have activity still down here in Africa, down by these volcanic, well, this is further south. This isn't up by the volcanic fields. There's 4.7 at the surface right here in Uganda. So strange little quake going on there. Too bad we couldn't see top of, the land features or something to determine whether it's a diverse one or not. So we're just going to go with diversity because it doesn't look like our normal region. Okay. And that's something that comes along with them denying us that, the topographical features is now we're just going to have to start calling stuff. Hey, looks diverse to me. We'll be able to kind of look a little deeper. 4.3 at 120. There's some kind of volcanic feature going on there. Yeah, when this stuff all happens and everybody's caught off guard, you can blame these guys because they're playing games. Is what they're doing. This is not a positive thing, what they're doing with their maps here. Okay? They're playing games, and I don't like it. It's important you guys have this information. 4.8 down at 57, another volcanic feature. We have little volcanic islands that run right here. All little seamounts that made it up to the ocean floor, but you can't see. Meanwhile, activity still going on down in the Sandwich Islands there. Okay. Coming up here, we have activity on the Cocos Plate here. A 5.2 at the surface there, so an uptick in magnitude and motion here at this Cocos Plate, so watch out. We also had a big quake over here before, 4.7. We put that bigger quake on. Thank you. All right, so earlier this week we had this 7.6 here, our biggest quake in this year. Okay, so, and not in our typical area. The biggest quake is out here in the Caribbean. And when we come back over here, I want you to see that we indeed have more activity. We have all this going on up here, and then down in this region, there's a bunch of red starting to glow in that area. And now we're starting to see quake activity in that area. There's a Fulcrum Point quake right there that was earlier this week. And then today, here's today's quake, the orange one. We've had a 4.7. So decent magnitude, 4.7 at the surface, still going on in this region. That tells me we have a new weak spot, okay? That's a new path of least resistance, all right? Pressure from down below is looking for the easiest path to the surface. And when you have a new crack or a new opening, a new pathway of least resistance, now we're starting to see quake activity along this plate boundary in this area. And watch for more for this activity to continue. Every time we have a new wave of energy from the sun causing, a wave of pressure from down below to come up, you're going to see this area light up again. So watch it closely for more earthquake activity. Okay, let's get into America now. I don't need the whole week's worth. Let's just go one day all magnitude. Okay, a little bit over here by Japan, not much. 4.9 down at 35. Let's call that a 5. So we still got 5 magnitude in the region. Nothing up by our fulcrum point. We come down to the Aleutian Islands, seeing 3.6. That's a little uptick. 2.9. Here's a decent sized quake right here. 5.8. All right, so today we had a 5.8 up here at Alaska. Probably a little bit stronger with our tsunami warning, knowing the USBS and their BS that they pull, especially with their maps and stuff like that. So 5.7 on this. 5.8 here. So a little difference between the two, between NOAA and the GS or whatever. So there's that. Uptick in magnitude right there. We're leaving a lot of pressure in that region. Come on over. We come down to our Juan de Fuca area. Okay, we're starting to see a little bit of earthquake activity on land. Oh, no, that's an explosion. But up here by our volcanoes, see, you can't see Mount St. Helens or Rainier on this map anymore. You know, I always like to see the activity at the base, or if it's on the flank, or if it's at the tip. But you can't see that kind of stuff anymore because these bozos over here, these clowns, these assholes at the USGS have screwed up your map on purpose. 3.7 down at 40. Not happy with these guys at all. 3.1 here, your fulcrum point at the Juan de Fuca right there. 2.9, okay, your geysers here still going off, doing a lot of relief of the plate boundary area right there. So you can't zoom in to see what's going on there. Nice job, you. Meanwhile, we're going into the Bay Area here. We're starting to see activity 2.4, 2.5, Pleasant Hill, 2.3. All right, so we'll have to leave it at that zoom level there. These guys are pathetic. Excuse me, 4.3 here in Avenal, California. Coming down into our little structure region right here. See, you notice you can't see that anymore. It took that off the map. I wonder if we could, ocean might show that a little bit. There we go. So there's our feature right here. Okay. And you can see we're still having a little bit of activity right along the plate boundary, or right along the boundary of it right here. 1.5, but it's not much. Okay. Oh, I'm so mad at these guys. Alrighty. As you can see, Texas still man-made perforations in the crust. 1.4, no biggie. But we come over here to your New Madrid area, 2.4 here in Jackson, Tennessee. Nothing up the Craton. Okay, a couple of quakes along South America, 4.6 and 4.9. Call that a 5. Here's your plate boundary where we're seeing heat and magma coming out of South America down here. That boundary, that little zigzag line that was coming down to the bay is now retreated and is gone. So it looks like it's closed up. All right, but we still have a lot of leakage coming out of this three-way intersection and this one up above it here, this area and this area right there. So keeping magnitudes down to mid-range 4 and 5 there, so they don't do a lot of damage. All right, I think that covers everything. Yeah, I'm kind of done looking at this map. New quake that we didn't cover just happened during the show. 4.8 down at 116 right there. Okay, so uptick in magnitudes going through the region right here. We're also seeing our quake swarm going on over here. All right, let me get up the volcano page here. Okay, 38 erupting and 38 in warning. That's 76 volcanoes. That is insane. Okay, 7 years ago when all this stuff started happening to me and attacking me and crazy stuff going on, there was only one volcano. 7 years ago, there was only one volcano. If I had told you back then, hey, 7 years from now, we're going to have 76 active volcanoes, you would have said, Brian, you're crazy. Well, here we are, 7 years later, 76 volcanoes, and I am still crazy about you. Well, that's why I'm still trying to do the show tonight. Now, let's get into it. I'm not even counting the 27 at unrest, okay? That we should start kind of taking this into consideration now, too. We have another 27 added volcanoes that are at unrest, at any moment they could go active. Here's Sakurajima, a bunch of red triangles on some cloudy space photos. Now, Sakurajima, 6,000 feet. Semaru, 15,000 feet. That's its max. Ducono, 12,000 feet. Reventador, 15,000 feet. That's just in the last few minutes because here's today, which is now yesterday because, well, time flies at this channel. Getting into it, there is your map of insanity. You see all those red triangles? There's the same amount of orange triangles hiding underneath them, but you can't see because remember, there's 38 and 38. So as many red triangles as you see, there are orange ones hiding amongst them. Doesn't look like it, but there is. Okay, as we get on into it, earthquake graph there, Semaru. Etna, everybody pay attention in Italy. Etna's waking up. Explosive activity continues. An estimated 15,000 foot blast out of Etna. Okay, so everybody back away. Watch out. Pay attention to Etna. Meanwhile, Ibu, I be with you. 9,000 feet. Okay, Luatobi. Didn't say there, but we can continue on. 2,000 volcano tectonic earthquakes. Semaru, 15,000. Ducono, 9,000. Here we are, Kilauea in Hawaii. The episode 9 lasted approximately 22.5 hours of featured activity. Okay, so still off and on here at Kilauea, Santa Aguito, 14,000 feet, Nevada del Ruiz, 20, Reventador. Okay, so still a lot of volcanoes going on here. Let's even go into the 12th just a little bit here. Yep, pressure from down below causing all kinds of earthquake activity. Here's your earthquake swarm here. Ibu volcano. Okay, Etna, in addition to Volcano Observatory issued a warning aviation ash plumes rising to 20,000 feet. So we had a 15,000 and a 20,000 out of Etna. Santorini in Greece, okay, our new earthquake region and everything waking up there. 29 quakes between magnitude 4 and 5, as well as hundreds of smaller quakes. Okay, so that area, everybody's evacuating that area because they're afraid it might wake up here soon too. Ducono 9, Kilauea lava fountains returned to the crater floor on February 11th, and the 9th fusion phase was preceded by a small spattering. Pope of the Kettle, 19,000, Santa Guido, Nevada del Ruiz, 20, Reventador, 16. Here are your lists of insanity. I dare you to take this to the mainstream media. They would flip out if they knew all this was going on too. But we got so much new administrative stuff going on that all this fades into the background. So many new things going on with Trump in office, that so many new headlines and distractions that nobody's even aware that all this stuff continues to grow. This list continue to grow. They're not shrinking. They're just growing longer and longer. All right, let's get into this weather and tropical tidbits. You guys put your hands out. Get your tidbits, tropical flavored. And for you guys who like models, well, sorry, these are forecast models. All right, here we go. Your current conditions right now, this intense storm hitting the west coast right here, as this one pulls away from the east coast. This, as it crosses the country, is going to be quite an event here. So as we go, current conditions. Oh, stop. There we go. current conditions right there. Small icing, but very strong storm along the Pacific and the Sierra Nevadas, and that's affecting where we're at with flooding and making our situation that this situation I have very dire. We do not need more water. Well, the West Coast needs water, but for the situation I have, we don't. Anyways, current conditions, nighttime of the 13th, going into the morning of the 14th, noon, convection, nighttime. You see this low sitting right here, okay? All the cold air and snow behind it. We have that warm, moist air that's coming off the Gulf of America, feeding up into the country here. Now, when these two air masses collide, you got the morning of the 15th. You see the warm, moist air, cold air, icing in between. That's the morning of the 15th, noon. This QLCS, instead of being laying this way, it's folding over this way. So now we're going to see severe weather in this region right here, in this quasi-linear convective storm front here. This will be the convection of the 15th. So here on the 15th, the afternoon of the 15th, watch out for tornadoes in this region right here. Okay, we got a negative tilt on this QLCS right here, which causes a lot of different kind of rotation to spin up. So increasing your chances of rotation and your tornadoes dramatically. So watch out in this region for this event on the 15th, the afternoon of the 15th. Okay. And then everybody here in California, as we back up here to our current conditions, watch out for flooding. All right. Right now, we've got a couple that is stuck in a ravine in a trailer in the mud. And any kind of water coming out of this is going to flash flood that ravine and wash them away. And I got to save them before they get washed away and they're stuck in an impossible situation. Very, very, very hard to deal with. And the weather's not making it any easier for my situation. But meanwhile, out here, these people could stand to even lose their trailers. So there's your convection of the 15th, nighttime. Okay, the nighttime now. You see this icing going on up in here? Heavy snow, strong winds, convection, tornadoes and stuff in there. I hate this mouse. It clicks way too easily. Okay, so right there, the nighttime of the 15th. Okay, icing up in this region, New York. Okay, a lot of power outages, high winds, ice, snow, water, flash flooding, as well as tornadoes. So the whole mix right there, large hail probably, high winds. So that's going to make a mess out of that region, the nighttime of the 15th going into the morning of the 16th. Now you see this icing going up into New York, right through this region, millions of people in this area. So this storm is going to have big effects on this region, and you still got severe weather down here, severe weather up here in the eye. Okay, so you got two different, areas of severe weather forming out of this storm. And this is well within reach now because we're within our 3-day gap. We're at 2 days now. So that's probably going to come to fruition there, pretty close to what this model's saying. This will be the noon hours of February 16th as it creeps up through that area. The nighttime hours. The morning of that's the afternoon hours. Sorry, my bad. There's the time. You have to forgive me. I'm not in good form. So there's your convection, nighttime, morning of the 17th, noon, convection, nighttime, 18, noon, convection. You see these cold air mass, warm, moist air, icing in the middle again right there. Okay. They meet, they kiss, they make babies at noon, the February 18th, going into convection, the nighttime, morning of the 19th. Watch out for severe weather down here, Panhandle of Florida, Mississippi, Alabama region right there. Then as that thing starts to come together at noon, there's convection with icing along the edge of these air masses right here, and then severe weather right along the coast. Nighttime, morning of the 20th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 21st, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 22nd, noon, convection, nighttime, 23, noon, convection, nighttime. All right, most of this is all too far out there to be accurate. But what's going to happen here is these next round of storms here, and back on up. Oh, I could just do this. Whoop. All right, this next big storm that's coming into the Pacific and dumping lots of moisture here, making life miserable for me already, even worse, 10 times worse than our situation already is. So this is going to move across the country and affect this area, and then you're going to have another storm on its tail. There's your icing, your snow, ice, and severe weather event going through that region on the 16th, 15th, 16th time frame. And then right behind it, here comes another storm right through the same region, adding more snow and stuff to already bad situation there. So everybody out there, I hate this mouse. Everybody out there, get ready for wicked weather and possibly long duration there. And if you get a chance in between these storms to get to the store for supplies, I would take advantage of that, because that storm right there, that's the morning of the 16th, noon, convection, nighttime. That's going to knock out power and all kinds of travel headaches in that region. And then, boom, this thing comes right up through there again. All right, so there's all that. And all right, I really didn't have much for a spiritual report tonight. I just wanted to kind of get out here and do this really quick for you. Let's just try to do something here, I guess, really quick. Yeah, the situation I'm kind of in right now is demanding everything I got. All my energy, all my focus. So it's hard to do a show when you're so distracted by everything that's going on in your life. So, oh, hurry up with your stupid ads. Okay, trying to just pull up this image really quick here. All right, pull up another one. I don't even have anything picked out really, so bear with me for a second here. Just pulling up a couple images here. So I got all this spiritual warfare stuff happening to me, going on in my life, right? And sometimes it gets really, really intense and very painful and frustrating and demanding. And we do our spiritual work trying to recover the day. And sometimes it doesn't happen, and you got to keep plugging forward, and you try to recover the next day, and then try to recover the next day as well. And what I have found now, that sometimes when we're going through the course of a day and we're salvaging a day, it doesn't always happen, and then you sleep on it. The next day is a brand new day, and you go about the course of your life, but it's the same one that you're still struggling to overcome. Okay, so I've been on this latest one has been over 2 weeks long. All right, where it's every day is this constant battle that's frustrating, irritating, aggravating, very painful. A lot of people don't communicate well or refuse to accept other people's ideas, and therefore they suffer the consequences of making wrong decisions. Okay, and watching people go through that can be very disheartening and very painful and hard to do. Okay, and that's something that I'm going through right now, and I don't really have anything picked out so much for you guys to read tonight. I'm just going to tell you I'm going through something that is very hard, it's very intense, it's excruciatingly painful on a spiritual, physical, and emotional level, very intensely. And I'm doing the best I can to deal with the issues at hand and the issues that it's causing in my life as well. And I indeed have to employ the very tactics that I try to teach you guys as well. Okay. So not only am I trying to show you ways of overcoming the world, but I'm actually going through a very tough trial at the same time. Okay, so it's hard for me to find the focus and the time to bring you a quality show. Okay, um, I'm not in good form tonight. I tried to just bring a show to you guys to just touch base with you, let you know that I'm okay. I'm struggling. We're going through a very tough thing right now for me and my family. So I always appreciate your prayers. Your prayers are heard and appreciated. So no, I'm not getting abused. No, no, no. We have a very tough circumstances that have arisen. Okay, I have some very dear people to me that are in a trailer. They're homeless people that have acquired a small trailer to live in, and the elements out here aren't too kind, right? Well, now they are stuck in a dried out riverbed or a wash, what we call out here a wash. And with the weather, the moisture has now turned the riverbed into mud, and they cannot get their trailer out, and we have more water and more coming, and they're going to be stuck for a long time in the middle of nowhere in the mud and freezing cold, and it's hard to rescue people who won't cooperate, listen, or it's very technical, very hard. So please bear with me. I miss you guys a lot. I enjoy doing these shows and touching base with you guys and being here for you every night. But I have some really tough issues going on in my life, and I'm trying to deal with them the best I can and overcoming each one, one at a time, day by day, just trying to plug along. Okay, and I have a feeling a lot of you guys might be going through something very similar, not necessarily my situation, but very similar, that you're working hard at overcoming obstacles every day, and they're coming fast and furious, and they're very intense. Okay, so you're not the only one. Just keep your head up. Know that you're still fighting a spiritual battle. That's why all this craziness is happening. Okay, and man, I can't even describe the craziness that happens in my life. All right, you can already see this stuff. All right, so it's on a level that is so intense and just beyond explanation and you grasping what's going on. So it's just important that we all maintain composure, try to, fight through this battle, this struggle. Okay, you can't give up, even though the situation's impossible. It consumes your mind all the time. It's important that you try to break free away from these situations and take a break from it to find a little bit of peace, a little moment of peace. And that's kind of why I have to do this show too. It helps me break away from this situation for a minute to be with you guys, where I can be with my family in the air. See, I can't come over to your house and give you a hug right now, and I desperately want to. But the only way I can meet my family is in the air, cyberspace. So I go live on YouTube so I can be with my family, so they can see me in the clouds coming with power and great glory. And when they see me in the clouds coming with power and great glory, they get caught up like a good book, like a good song. You're caught up and swept away from your situation or your circumstances for a minute. It takes you away for a minute so you can regain composure and know that you're fighting. What you're doing isn't for nothing. You're fighting a spiritual battle, okay? Even though the results don't come out the way they should or the way you expected them, and it only gets harder, well, that's because you're truly being tested, okay? And I know that's what's going on in my case, and I know it'll be okay, but it's just hard going through the process, okay? It can be frustrating, irritating, painful at times. So I know I'm going through it along with you, all right? And just bear with me. It's gonna be My shows are gonna be very random, hit and miss, maybe here, maybe there, not so every night, okay? Because I'm going through something that demands a lot of my time and my energy. And doing this show demands a lot of time and energy and focus as well. So it's hard to do all of it, especially when you're in the middle of a crisis. Okay, so just understand. I appreciate all your prayers and everything. They do help. So I appreciate that. Everybody have a happy Valentine's Day. Remember, it's all about love. We'll even pull up an image of that too. I need to pull that one up too. So just bear with me as I try to get this situation fixed and rescue these people, because they're very, very dear to me, and I don't want to see them lose their house and their livelihood and everything in this weather. Where are we going? Oh yeah. And the closer I get to resolving this situation and getting them rescued, then I'll have more time on my hands to be able to bring you a show. All right, you see the heart right there? There's your Lord and Savior right there, pulling his shirt open, exposing his heart, radiating out these waves, making my face in the clouds with the crown on it. Okay, so for Valentine's Day, there's the heart of hearts, the holy of holies. There's no other heart better than that one right there. So happy Valentine's Day from the actual heart, from the real love, the unconditional love that loves you even though you don't understand what's going on. Okay. So happy Valentine's Day to all the people I love out there. Please understand that I'm going through something, and I'm just kind of trying to touch base with you guys, let you know I'm okay. We're struggling, but I'm still here with you guys, and I appreciate your patience with me and everything. Okay, it's been really hard to go through all this process and not have anybody, no cooperation. It's all resistance. Every person I deal with is resistance. I say yes, they say no. It's I say left, they say right. Let's go this way. No, let's go that way. So imagine in your life every single thing being resisted, and how frustrating that could be, especially when you're physically, emotionally exhausted. When you get nothing but resistance, it can be very, very hard on a person, okay? And you're probably going to run into that, all right? So you have to forgive them. They know not what they do. They don't know the bigger picture. They don't see the cause and effect of their circumstances, and then, even lying to themselves about what their circumstances are. That's another thing that we'll have to address someday, is believing your own lies. A lot of people, lie to other people to make themselves look a certain way, and then all of a sudden that has consequences that unfold in different ways. It's a lesson to be learned in life that lies can cause detrimental circumstances later on in life. And we'll get into that stuff, but just know that I'm still here with you guys. All right. I still love you. I'm sorry I've been missing in action, but I'm in spiritual warfare in the trenches, in the wash of a river, digging mud in a trench, trying to get this people's trailer out of the way before it gets washed away. Okay, so meanwhile, I love you all. Thank you for bearing with me. I hope you enjoyed the show. I'm sorry it was a brief one here, but it's important that I still touch base with you guys and let you know I'm still around. I'm just very, very busy. And if you want to know where I'm at, I'm out in the riverbed digging out mud, in the trenches in the mud, spiritual warfare, trying to help a person who doesn't know how to accept the help. Let's just put it that way. Almost like a lifeguard trying to rescue a drowning person, and the drowning person is too busy panicking to accept the help. So it's very hard to do. It's hard to rescue somebody who doesn't know they need rescuing, who's resisting every little attempt, all your help. So just bear with me as I go through this process. I will still try to touch base with you guys and do reports as we can. There's probably going to be some more earthquake activity and volcano activity coming up here in the future that we'll have to report on. So just when I go missing for a couple of days or something, don't worry about me, but that's when you need to pray. Okay. You know that I'm working hard at something. Okay. I'm always got some kind of battle going on in my life. And this time it's a really tough one. It's a really hard one. And I really appreciate your guys' patience. Okay. I think that's it. Is that it, Lord? I guess so. All right. I like to say until my next show, I will be back. All right. But that's usually every night. So I will be back. Not sure when, but pretty soon I'll try to get back to you guys with another show as quick as I can. All right. I appreciate your patience and your comments and your prayers and everybody praying for you. And I'm working hard for you as well. Okay. All these accomplishments in the spiritual realm that you're accomplishing and the ones that I'm accomplishing as well are all, we're all making progress. Okay. It's progress, not perfection. Perfection's when you include Jesus into it and you realize that you're a spiritual warrior in battle, okay? That's the perspective that you should have on life. So when you're undertaking impossible missions like I am, you're able to still continue without being demoralized and giving up, okay? So I got to go and finish up this impossible job, and I will try to be back with another show as soon as I can, okay? I will be back. I am already back. And until my next show, whenever that will be, I will be back, okay? No matter what. So just be patient and hang in there. I'll try to post some of the links if I can get to it. I'll post some of the links to the instruments, like the Schumann, and some of the links. So if I can't do a report, you can go over to the site and just take a look at the charts. So I'll put the links to some of the charts in there if I can get to it here, so you guys can access the charts if I'm not doing a report. Okay. That's it for tonight. I love all you guys. Thank you for your patience and your time. Just know that I'm going through something very tough, and I just got to get her done so I can get back to doing my regular show. Okay. So y'all hang in there. I'm praying for you. We all pray for each other. Strength, courage, patience, tolerance, acceptance. Keep working your program. Keep overcoming your obstacles, each day. Every time you do, you get a glory, and you go from glory to glory to glory in your tribulation. Okay, even though I have an impossible mission, it's the fact that I still have the courage to take it on. It probably won't pan out the way I want, but I still got to take it on Because if I don't, then the worst will happen. So to prevent the worst from happening, I still got to fight on and strive. Keep striving. That's what each day is about, is striving. Okay? You guys are doing it. It's hard, but you're doing it. So hang in there. Keep up the good work. I love you all. I miss you all. And until my next show, I will be back. In fact, let me just say good night to thank you, Holly, for being here. Misty, Curb Creeper, Leslie, Jimmy, thank you for being here. Yeah, cool. A few good regulars here. All right, cool. That was most of them there. Oh, Nicholas is here too. Thank you, Brian. We are all in this together. Keep everyone. And weather is intense. Yes, times are challenging. Weather is intense, and just keep weathering the storm. Keep your chin up. It's all for a reason. Okay, you're growing stronger. You're showing courage by taking it on. Okay. And tomorrow I'll be back out there in the battlefield, in the trenches again, and in the mud, and in the snow, trying to rescue as many people as I can. Okay? And you guys keep doing the same thing. Rescue as many people as you can. That's it. I love you all. Until my next show, I will be back. I am already back. It's too bad the world can't tell. But I've got an elite few called my family that can tell. And the moment you can tell, that makes you, it gives you your identity as a child of God. Okay? Thank you, John White. I love you all. And until my next show, I will be back. I am already back and kicking out.